Last week we started playing Rescue Ace, and I'm going to keep doing that this week, because the deck was fun. It doesn't do shit compared to what it's supposed to do, but it's funny, and anything funny is what we do. This community on a good note? Yeah, you got a good point. I don't trust it, but it's there. Look, we gotta hang on to the other side, and we gotta get amazing defenders. That's what we want. Don't give me ghosts. Don't give me ghosts. Don't give me ghosts. I know you're gonna give me ghosts. Don't give me ghosts. It's the only set there I don't want. Don't give me ghosts. It's gonna be ghosts. It's gonna be ghosts. Oh, okay, we're past ghosts. It's funny. It's fine. It's fine. We're not getting it. It's Trap Tricks or Fire King, which I guess is fine. Fire King structure deck. I'll take it. Like, fine. Right. We're gonna go to the structure decks first, because apparently we have them now. Obviously, these are just gonna be the same, but it's still nice to look through them, because I do believe there are a couple of good cards in here. Obviously, we don't really care about the fire, like any of the fighting cards. We got Alpha, which we already have a full playset of. Droll and Lockbird is a good card. Dark Hole is another really good card, actually. We lack removal. Infinite Impermanence, Solemn Judgment, Torrential Tribute are all really good cards. The other ones, I don't think matter to us at all, actually. But those ones, really good. We're looking for the hand traps. Power Sink Stone, true. No, we want it mostly for the hand traps. And for Dark Hole. Dark Hole's pretty good. Alright. This is where it matters. I'm not gonna play shitty Fire Kings. It's not fun. Right, we're looking for any of the super rare Rescue Aces, pretty much. We already have Contain. Fire, we don't need Fire Attacker. We already had 1-for-1. We have so many of them, actually. Ugh, Gear-Free doesn't help either. Exceed Import is funny. Expearly Noir doesn't help either. Come on. Oh, Fire Engine! We can play that one! Fire Engine's good! Wait, Kaijus are in there? Dude, fucking Fire Engine! That's really good! So we can basically special summon if we special summon anything else, and if it's special summon to your opponent, if a monster special summons to your opponent's field, you can special summon one level 4 lower Rescue monster. This one's really good. Oh, Dogorin's in there. That's good. I didn't even realize. But that's really good. We got one of them. Another HQ. We already have a bunch. Another Expearly. Whatever. We got another Gizmek. Another We're getting so many Pearlies and not the actual Pearly. Another one. Oh my god. If we pull 3 more fucking 1-for-1s. Another Gearfree. We have a playset of them now. Christ. Another Expearly. We are looking for supers that are not that. Mekonko. Come on, man. Oh my god. We got 1 card. We actually just got 1 card. That's super lame. 1 card. So, for the first duel of today, we're playing up against the good old traditional DDDs. As you can see, the DDD combo flies off to a glorious start here, managing to put basically everything on the field, but only ending on a singular effect. Unfortunately for us, we literally brick on every single card in the hand that is unplayable going second, so we are forced to scoop very early on. Game number 2 fires immediately, and we do manage to get a Fenrir onto the board as well as our massive, big, chunky boy, but unfortunately we don't really get to act on that, which kind of sucks. He does manage to kind of pop off here, and we do decide to get rid of the DDD, but we get hit with a Forbidden Droplet of all things. Kind of unfortunate, but that does mean he kind of gets to start his combo off here, but doesn't really get to do anything else, which I suppose kind of works out for us anyway. At this point, we actually do get to activate our Turbulence to set our 5 cards and pass, and he has used 2 of his Keplers, which is kind of good. He does manage to go into his King Genghis whatever man here, and he does activate it in order to settle his things, and we decide to just let him do that. At this point, though, when he has filled the board, we are going to start popping cards off just in case. He is unable to destroy a monster at this point, which does mean we are in the clear, as we go and destroy the 3K attacker, whatever on earth its name is, that I never remember. He keeps popping off, and this time going into Siegfried, which does actually kind of suck for us, because he can now negate one of our spell trap cards. But even so, he goes into Kali Yuga in order to start trading, which I found very interesting. Kali Yuga blows up every single card on the field, which is respectable, but everything is still negated. We go on to our turn, we do get a Fenrir onto the board, which we can use to start popping things off, but we do get hit with an Infinite Impermanence, which is super unfortunate. He does manage to kind of build up the board, and we do a little goofy goof here, because we forget that we, in fact, have to do it a certain way, whatever. We do get into Turbulence once again. Turbulence can kind of go off, and we also go into our Fire Engine, which is really interesting. We do pump the Kali Yuga here. We do manage to snatch the Fenrir that's off the board using our Anima, and we have to pass turn. He is kind of running out of resources, and so are we, but at this point, he has used every single Kepler in his deck, so he is unable to start the combo. He goes into a Copernicus. Copernicus fetches the Necroslime, and he goes into a Siegfried. We are going to go ahead and we're going to draw a Turbulence from the graveyard. He goes into Beowulf. Beowulf is horrific for us, but at the very least we can survive this turn. Luckily for us, we draw into the card that gets negated. Who would have guessed? We should have probably played this differently, because we would have done way better and just gone Dragoon on the board and been fine. But no! We could have just gone into main phase 2 and done the thing, but I'm a goofy goober. Lamia comes out, he goes over and realizes he's out of resources and actually scoops, so we still take the game, but it is incredibly lucky that we do, because let's be honest here, that game was not deserved. Going into game number 3, we once again open with the Daddy Dragoon card, but unfortunately he is DDD, we don't have a singular hand trap, and there is not really that much we're going to be able to do, as he manages to pump off with full combo, going for his spell trap negate, which of course is just going to eradicate us. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to steal every card on the board here, given the amount of cards he has access to, and there's not really a lot we can do about that. We do manage to go in, and we do decipher the spell trap negate, but of course we get swooped up, but we do manage to get rid of the card at the very least. We do have 2 cards to kind of try doing stuff. We manage to set our 4, but of course we get Snatch stolen again. We do bring out a Hydrant, and that's basically all we can do, as he starts popping off with the Trap Negate. Basically a Royal Decree, but searchable by DDs. It's kind of hilarious. We aren't really going to be able to do that much against it, of course, because we're Rescue Ace. We kind of need our trap cards. He goes full combo on our butts. He goes into Siegfried, of course, stopping us. He goes into Diark to win in time, regardless of what we do here. There is a singular card that kind of gets us out of this position, and it's not Red Eyes Fusion, I tell you that. That isn't the card, and unfortunately, there isn't much we're going to be able to do here, as we simply get stolen, and we lose match 1. Game 2, we're up against Shoujo! And we haven't actually seen him in a while, and he is on Marincess now, which is kind of scary. I do kind of know the Marincess combo, at least somewhat. It's been a couple of years since I really ran it, but it does have one very linear combo, but he decides to spin it up and actually go into Totally Awesome, which I haven't seen in a long time. He does manage to kind of get an end board going with Marble Drock, getting himself the Toad, and, you know, doing the usual Marincess shenanigans. We have a Hydrant. We are going to activate the Hydrant, which is going to be negated, which I think is fine, so we activate Emergency in response in order to tag it out for something else. In doing so, we can get our set 4 on the board. Unfortunately, in defense position, we can't really do anything about that simply because of how the card works. We set another card and we pass, hoping he can't go to Chaos. He goes for the 20s, which is really funny. We do manage to get one activation out here anyway, though, but he is going to go ahead and negate it, and he's going to tag out for the Link 3. Unfortunately, he is going to search the trap card through this, and now he can make himself unaffected if he really wanted to, so we're going to have to start firing things willy-nilly if we really want to. We do have Contain and Alert set, so we can, again, kind of deal with this. No matter what he does here, we can defend ourselves at the very least, because the only thing Marincess has is a spin effect, as well as beating us in the face, both which we can survive at the moment. He does the full Marincess combo, though, managing to get himself a protected 4/300 Bungus, as well as a protected... Oh, not the protected field spell, he just gets another blue tank for some reason. He does punch in, and we do protect him through Reinforce, and we are able to kind of sit and just not take damage, and for some reason he punches it anyway, which I just think comes down to him not really reading what Reinforce actually does. I'm not entirely sure. We do get a Kashtira Fenrir here, which unfortunately doesn't help us. We are able to go into a card, but of course it is unaffected by all cards, which I've had to double check, so we can't really do anything with that. We could get ourselves the Fire Engine, which we decide to do here just in case, and I realize very quickly that there is one way out of this game where I can actually get over a fully stacked Marincess, and that's through a card I haven't summoned at all yet. We go into Fire Attacker and we just pitch any card. We activate Fire Engine, which gets to special summon itself. And at this point, we are able to set one of the cards, and we can activate our guy, and we can just kind of try and protect ourselves for one more turn, which is the only thing I'm attempting to do. We pass the turn back on our full board. We do manage to get to draw 2, discard 1, and we draw ourselves a draw unlock, which I suppose is nice. We do get Fire Attacker here, which we are just going to use in order to special summon a level 4 from the graveyard. We're going to get ourselves Airlifter, which gets us the HQ spell, which still isn't enough to actually get over anything, but it's there. We do protect the monster once again, forcing him to go to battle phase, and, you know, we're just going to not let him, unless he chooses to negate it, which he can't. Hee 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 hoo 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 ha ha ha, nice. At this point, we have 4 monsters on the board, we have all the means of summoning our one way out of this, and we're going to do just that. We're going to try and set things to force out the Marincess wave, which is really nice, and we do get to do that. We activate the HQ, not that we really need to, but it does draw us a free card, which is, I suppose, pretty nice. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, we have one shot, let's do it. We summon Croshy, we summon Hita to summon Crusadia Avramax in this deck of all places, which actually does out the Marincess board, because it doesn't matter if you're affected or not, I am the one gaining the attack. We realize very quickly that we are now in the driver's seat of this game. We can we can just keep looping our resources. We got an Avramax on the board that can't be targeted. There's not a lot you're going to be able to do. We do choose to pop a card here, but we very quickly realize that, yeah, this is the game. We've got this. He scoops it up and we go to game number 2. For game number 2, we open poorly, to say the very least. We do manage to get an Airlifter on the board here so we can get our emergency. We're going to fire the emergency to get Turbulence. We're going to activate Turbulence and set our 4, and we also have a Mystical Space Typhoon, and that's about it. Of course, here I'm saying, go ahead, do it, do the funny battle phase meme, and of course he's going to do exactly that. We realize this, and we begin to pop off as many cards as we possibly can so we don't really lose out on any real resources, but of course we get evenly matched, and we are simply going to have to deal with it. Twin Twister comes out, which is really funny. I misclick horribly, because this is the misplay episode, and I just kill myself, essentially. Yeah, Turbulence has an effect that when a card is special summoned, you get to pop a card on the field, and accidentally that was the only card I had left and had to pop it. Whoopsie daisies. He sets up his Marincess shenanigans, and at this point, we are basically so far out of doing anything that we're kind of boned. We do manage to get Hydrant onto the board, though. We are going to relinquish Anima of the Hydrant, because it's just really funny. Unfortunately, we get Marincess Wave, which we are forced to negate here in order to clear the board once again, and we are going to do exactly that to bring out another Turbulence. Turbulence is going to set 4, and we are once again in the driver's seat of this game, but as you're very quickly going to be able to tell, a Raigeki is something we still can't stop. Yikes! Raigeki is one hell of a card here, and that leaves most of our cards dead, so we are now forced to summon anything, and we're going to summon the Hydrant, just in case. He does have the Signet Mining, which is going to draw him the one piece he needs, which is Blue Tang. We have a Reinforce to protect ourselves essentially once, which we are going to go ahead and do here. It's going to be protected. The second time we're going to have to pop something, so we're going to attempt to just pop a card off, but nope, it gets negated, or not negated, rather, it gets cancelled by Salama's effect to protect anything. He manages to get himself a Coral Anemone onto the board. He can use Coral Anemone to bring back Blue Tang. He can destroy both to get into Marbled Rock. Marbled Rock can draw him the Sleepy Maiden. Sleepy Maiden summons himself, and now we are once again stuck staring down a giant, untargetable, undefeatable Bungus. Oof. We draw the one funny card in the deck that would have been good one turn before this, but of course, we're going to try to bring out Turbulence again. Turbulence is going to get negated. We're going to battle phase. We can only attack one card, and with that, we are immediately going to lose this game. Very unfortunate that we ended up drawing the Red Eyes Fusion one turn late. That negate would have been stellar earlier, but it kind of is what it is. It makes it unprotected, like, it's protected from everything. It's going to get negated anyway. It's very funny. We go to game number 3. In game number 3, we trick him and we choose to go second, hoping that he would have sided for going second, drawing a bunch of dead cards that he wouldn't be able to use because we actually do hate evenly matched. But unfortunately for us, he is still Marincess and he just kind of does whatever he wants. We do manage to land an Imperm on the most impactful card. Unfortunately, he does have another extender in hand, so he just goes into Marbled Rock and then passes. We're going to go ahead and we're going to activate Red Eyes Fusion, saying, hey, there's no way he has the one card that kills us dead, right? He had the one card that kills us dead, because of course Ash Blossom is now in the format, and I consistently have to be worried about that. Unfortunately, that play is going to cost us the game, where we could have very easily not done that and played it safe, but you know, I had to go for the Dragoon when I have the chance to play Dragoon. It's the law. If you give me Red Eyes Fusion, I have to play Red Eyes Fusion. Can you really blame me? Unfortunately though, this does mark the end of our round 2, as we take ourselves another loss. Alrighty then, and for our last round of today, we're playing up against allegedly Michael and his incredibly awesome Dark World, Earthbound Immortal, absolute shenanigans deck. This is one of my favorite decks in our entire format. I say it every time we're up against him. It's super cool. Unfortunately for us, we only managed to set 3 and pass here. We don't really have any other play, but we do have a Forbidden Droplet that we're going to attempt to use, hoping he doesn't have an extender. But this is Dark World. Of course he has an extender. He manages to get into basically his entire combo, though not entirely, as he's forced to stop dead. But, of course, Stone Sweeper! He goes into Geo-Griffin, and from here you can probably guess what's going to happen. He's managing to loop into 7s, going into AFD. He has the field spell. He can just destroy the field spell to get Earthbound Prison. Discards a Jackalope, or discards the other field spell to get Jackalope onto the board, which presumably actually kills his combo. Surprising to me, but you know, it is what it is. We actually draw into Hydrant here, Hydrant being possibly the only card that gets us anywhere. We go for the Regulus to set up a negate and equip the Turbulence we destroyed the turn before. We go for the Hydrant activating in order to search another Turbulence for a later turn. We now have access to Contain as well as Reinforce, so we do go ahead and contain the Geo-Griffin, as that's the one we are the most scared of the effect for. We go ahead and we make Anima. We steal the AFD, which is just a 2100 beater at this point, but I suppose that works. We can now go into the second Turbulence. Turbulence activating to set 2 cards from the deck. We are going to set Rescue as well as the Pop. Now with the negate on the board, we can kind of go to battle here, and I'm debating whether or not it's worth killing which one, but we do go ahead and we are at least going to clear off the 2 Earthbound Immortal monster, or Earthbound Immortal and the Jackalope, needless to say, because they are being difficult. We are then going to punch into the Geo-Griffin. Geo-Griffin is going to get to activate, and there's not really a lot we can do about that. We are just going to have to take the damage as he destroys our 1 negate. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Crimson Gaia fetches the Vision Resonator. He is going to get a full negate thanks to the field spell of the Earthbound Immortals. And he only sets a card and passes. Unfortunately, our draw is literally as dead as it could ever be, so we are just going to go into battle. It turns out to be Vision Resonator, you know, the card he can get back every turn. We punch for 3k. That's basically all we can do at this point. I could have had an OTK, I think, but I'm just going to set 2 more cards, basically bring out more trap cards, and we pass turn. He goes for the Crimson Gaia again, gets the Vision Resonator back, and at this point he actually draws into an Earthbound Immortal, so he is off to the races. He's going to use his extra normal summon to summon the level 1. The level 1 gets the level 5, and at this point, if he has Harmonic Synchrofusion, I'm fucking dead. Oh no! Harmonic Synchrofusion! Now, I thought I'd get to pop a card before that was activated, but that's apparently not how it works. It sends for cost, which I find to be absolutely horrendously overpowered. We are going to get rid of 1 card here, though, but he hits me with a Super Poly to fuse all of his cards into Chlorless. Chlorless with 3k, we have to stop immediately, or he's going to pop the entire board. We are just going to choose to destroy it as soon as possible, because we don't want our entire board to just blow up. We still do get blown up here, but we do manage to rescue our 1 card that is unaffected by monster effects, and that is going to be enough to just keep the board alive, because, you know, a 3k beater is about as good as we're going to get here, I'm going to be honest. He goes into the Dark World Ascension, which is still an incredibly powerful card here that he could still fire on us. But then there's suspense, and then he activates it anyway! No! Anyway. He goes for it, he gets himself into Geograsha. Geograsha is an incredibly cool card that can do a lot of things. He forgets how Reinforce works. This is the second person today that has just forgotten how that card works. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna activate Rescue so we can get ourselves another one here, because we only have 1 real way of dealing with this. And unfortunately, we can't really do that right now. We need the Reinforce to be able to deal with that Geograsha, because if he destroys any card on the board, we're fucking dead. We go for the 1 card, we're going to tag in the Airlifter, we're going to get the field spell from this, so we can activate the field spell in order to shuffle a bunch of cards back into the deck and draw 1, because we are looking really low on resources. Now we're holding both Dragoon pieces as well, which, you know, doesn't fucking help. We're going to destroy the 800 monster here, bringing down a bit on life points, and at this point, if he attacks into us, we can probably win the game. Ascension is going to hit once again, and is going to bring out the negate this time, which actually sucks really hard for us, meaning we have to attempt to destroy it immediately. We have to, at the very least, bait out the negate here, is the plan. He just takes it, which is interesting. He goes into battle the defense position monster again. We can't let anything be destroyed here, so we're just going to choose to tag out for a Hydrant that can't be attacked. So now if he wishes to attack, he actually has to attack into the big guy that we can protect, and he chooses not to. This doesn't really matter, though, because we can simply go into the next turn and activate the card anyway, and we take game number 1. Just how long these games are going. Like, obviously, you're watching these sped up. Every single one of the rounds this week actually brought me into time, except for this third one, which was only a couple of minutes off. it's kind of scary. He does manage to go first in game number 2 here, and he pops up fairly well, but we actually have very good cards going second, given that we'll have the chance to use them. Harmonic Synchrofusion comes out and brings up Baronne de Fleur and the Fusion, because I didn't know that you could do them in different levels. I thought they had to be the same. Apparently not. You can summon the ones in different levels. This is super cool. Again, I absolutely love his deck. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Grapha comes out. He does manage to get Baronne and a sec card, which is kind of really bad for us. We go for Pankratops. We have to activate Pankratops to attempt to destroy the Baronne here. That negate is the scariest. He's going to choose to use his other negate here, so we're going to chain a card and hope that we get to special summon one from our hand, hoping to bait the Baronne negate. The Baronne negate does come off, so we will chain Rescue. Rescue will bring back the Fire Guy. Fire Guy will get us Alert, because we do need to get that card into our hand at this point. Unfortunately, we no longer are able to activate the, the evenly matched like I wanted to, which is just, less good than I expected. I may have miscalculated a little bit in this one. He does tag out for the level 1. The level 1 is going to fetch him a card, as well as get Grapha back to his hand. He gets himself the whole shebang. And I realized very quickly now that I did a massive Hugungalungagonga goof, and I'm forced to scoop this game and go into game number 3. We still have a chance on taking a win this week, which would be really nice, I guess. At this point, you know, we're hoping for the best. We do get a Fenrir on the board. Fenrir is very, very good here. We do get an emergency, so we can tag out for the Turbulence. We activate the Turbulence, we set the 4, and we just pass turn with a bunch of going second destruction cards in our hand. In doing so, we get Twin Twistered immediately, and unfortunately he hits 2 of the rather good ones, possibly the best hits he had, and he also discards a Mothman, which just gives him the free effects. My god, this synergy! Standby phase, of course, we can go for the Rescue, and we are going to do that to bring out Fire Attacker in case it decides to draw a bunch of cards, then we can draw a bunch of cards also. Unfortunately, I walked straight into a Super Poly, which is the first time that's happened. I never expected anyone to be able to Super Poly 2 fire cards, but here we are. He does manage to get a startup at this point, though, because he is able to find the level 1 Earthbound Immortal going into Harmonic Synchrofusion that he can use to draw a card from Garura, as well as special summon all of his shenanigans. He doesn't quite get the chance to kill me here, which is rather nice. He is a little bit off, but he does manage to go into the Baronne de Fleur to destroy the Reinforce, but we can now activate cards in the graveyard to try and set a bunch of new cards, because that's basically how this entire deck goes. We do manage to set a Rescue. Rescue is the card that we are going to need to turn this around. We're going to take a grand total of a lot of damage, but we draw Hydrant, which is possibly the best card we have. We go for the Fenrir that's in our hand, and we go for the Pankratops that's in our hand to activate the Pankratops to pop the Baronne. Obviously, he's going to have to negate this, because that's how this works. We activate Fenrir. We do go ahead and we get rid of the Geogremlina. I lied. We go ahead and chain it, so we get rid of Baronne, we get ourselves into the Turbulence. He's going to effect Veil of the Turbulence, which is slightly annoying, so we do only get to set 1 card. We do get into the Hydrant. We can activate the Hydrant effect in order to get ourselves the second Turbulence. We go for the second Turbulence by banishing 2 cards, and we are now looking at a very big field. Set 3, go to battle, and hopefully this should be enough. I hope this is enough. We destroyed the card, we go to battle, and guess what? We managed to OTK just like that.
1 and 2. We did, once again, we did take a game in every match. And that is all I can ask. I misplayed once, which probably cost us one of the matches, but the deck functions. Rescue Ace is carrying this extremely hard, but the hand traps did help. I don't know how much they helped, but they helped. Sir Misplay Live, baby, it's me! No, I enjoy this deck, actually. I think with the last couple of weeks that are remaining, we are going to try and find the remaining Rescue Ace monsters, and we're going to make this as good as we can. We'll have to plan around how to do that, though, but Pank and Fenrir, man, they carried. It's hard to out that. No, I'm happy about it. This week was, again, we did take a game in every single match. Yeah, why would you ever want to read Reinforce, right? Dude, Reinforce is a funny card. What do you mean? It just makes it unable to do anything. It's just there. But yeah, no, I enjoy this deck. We did fairly well. I'm not going to say we did super well or anything, but 1 and 2. We did take a win. We took a win in every game. A game in every match is what I wanted to say, but whatever. Next week, we'll just get more Rescue Aces, hopefully. Shedingling.